Welcome back to Ensley Wayne Spectrum Tackle Your Life. I just wanted to try to put together a small PowerPoint to help others understand the different levels of autism on top of just the diagnosis process and then what happens afterwards. This is all based on just what I have learned so far, so please let me know in the comments what you think and hope you enjoy. What is ASD? Autism Spectrum Disorder. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, autism spectrum disorder is a neurological and developmental disorder that affects how people interact with others, communicate, learn, and behave. My daughter, she definitely falls into these categories. She does not enjoy interacting with others. She prefers to be alone. She is verbal but non-communicative. The most she can do is a few little sign languages, and she'll say the word with that. Her learning, she definitely knows her ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, but she doesn't understand where they go. And then her behavior, she definitely has her ample amount of tantrums and a non-understanding to why she can't do certain things. It says, although autism can be diagnosed at any age, it is described as a developmental disorder because symptoms generally appear in the first 2 years of life. So when it comes to Ensley, her father and I were told at our 12-month checkup that she should be evaluated for autism. We both agreed that that might have been a little too soon for them to determine such things. Come her 2-year checkup, they recommended it once again. Unfortunately, her father and I did not come to an agreement, and he felt like that he still did not believe that she was autistic, so we still held it off. And it wasn't until finally that she went in for her 4-year checkup that we went to do the evaluation. I would say that if they see any signs, it does not hurt to get the evaluation done. It would only benefit you and the child.
Yeah, no, is you correct like that. Yeah.
So ASD consists of a wide spectrum and is divided into different categories or levels. And these 3 different levels are level 1, which requires support, level 2, which requires substantial support, and level 3, which requires very substantial support. So ASD level 1, which requires support, is when they're communicative but can have trouble placing correct phrases in a conversation, have a hard time initiating social interaction, they do not follow plans or directions well. ASD level 2 requires substantial support. Communication doesn't normally exceed simple sentences. They have repetitive behavior and isn't easy to change focus or activities well. ASD level 3 requires very substantial support, and this is pretty much a combination of 1 and 2. So communication is very limited or usually completely nonverbal. Social interaction is almost at a halt, and changes in activities or even environment can cause an ample amount of stress or tantrums. I had to throw tantrums there in the end because Ensley definitely has her tantrums when she is stressed out. And I feel like that she's not the only one. But Ensley was diagnosed with ASD level 3, and she pretty much fits the whole criteria. Her communication is definitely very limited. She does a few words with her sign language, like I previously said, and otherwise it is a lot of pulling and screaming. She does do her babbles. Even when she tries to sing, she just babbles. As far as her social interaction, it definitely is at a standstill. She doesn't really like to go and interact with others, and she gets pretty upset when others interact with her when she doesn't want it. There's only a few times that she actually wants it, and that's when she wants to flip on somebody, or when she wants to jump on a trampoline and she wants somebody to jump with her.
I did it. It's dead. I have to charge it.
And then back to that stress with changes, she definitely, if she is watching somebody blow bubbles or may just stop, tantrum. She just gets very stressed out because that's what she wanted, and she doesn't understand why it is that had to stop. We've moved quite a few times, and she does not like the fact of not knowing where to go. She ends up getting pretty stressed out with that and throws some tantrums over that. So I cannot believe that I actually almost forgot about sensory sensitivity. So it can affect any of the 5 senses: sight, sound, taste, smell, and touch. You'll see a lot of kids that cover their ears when they hear things, or they start closing their eyes and shaking their head because of certain lights. They'll be funny about foods, or like even just smells. It's not even always a bad smell. It can be because they love the smell of candles, so they smell every candle that they can find. Or touch. You'll see a lot of kids walk on their tiptoes, and I don't know if this is why, but I feel like it's because they don't like the feeling of their feet being completely down on the ground. What are they calling their poppets? They absolutely love poppets and fidgets, and they have to touch things and feel it. So when it comes to Ensley and her sensory sensitivity, it really is mostly just sound and touch. She definitely plugs her ears whenever she hears the phone rings, or if she just hears any sound that she really doesn't want to hear. A lot of times it's somebody playing some music that she doesn't like, or something of the sort. And then when it comes to her touch, she definitely likes the feel of things that are soft. As you can see here, I just got my nails done. She wanted to rub them on her face. She likes the poppets, and she enjoys rubbing people's arms, especially when their skin is soft. That seems to be the only sensory sensitivity that she has. This can affect any level of autism, so I just really didn't want to forget that. How are these levels determined and diagnosed? This is a question I get asked quite often by family and friends when it comes to Ensley, because they're always curious as to what it is that how did they decide that this is where she is at, what's the next process, so forth, so on. So it all starts off with your PCP, or primary care physician. Most of the time it is going to be somebody taking their child to their pediatrician, and what happens is that they determine if they see any signs of autism during examination. Sometimes the examination is a form that you end up filling out, or sometimes it's just during their regular checkup that they just see these things. From there, if they do see the signs, they refer them to a behavior specialist to be evaluated, and then that behavior specialist determines the diagnosis. And then from there, they refer the individual to the appropriate therapy. Those therapies can be from ABA, physical, speech, CBT, OT. I really don't know much about all of the therapies. Happily, gratefully, and excitingly, Ensley just got approved for ABA, physical, speech, and OT. And we're extremely excited and ready to get those rolling. Unfortunately, the facility that she'll be doing their speech therapy also does the physical therapy, but the physical therapy is all booked out for the moment. But that's okay. That's something that I could probably easily do myself at home. And I'll try to keep y'all updated on that. But the more I find out about these therapies, I will be more than happy to let everybody know how they go and what the process is. And so once that therapy is established, reevaluation occurs 6 months to a few years, depending on the severity of the individual needs. Meaning depends on how much progress they make, if any progress is being made. That's pretty much the gist of it. If they excel and they need to be reevaluated for how often they go to therapy, so forth, so on. So I just want to thank you for taking the time to go through this PowerPoint with me. Please leave a comment if I left anything out, or even just to let me know how I did. I feel like there was probably a few more things that I could have gone over. I will try to make sure I give an update on the things that I didn't know too much about. And once again, just thank you. Thank you for taking the time to go through this. Raising autism awareness has been like a strong passion of mine recently. Now that I'm starting to understand more and more about it, and I'm starting to understand my daughter more with it all, and I just want to help others, either with understanding autism or accepting autism, whatever comes with. So just thank you again, and until next time, bye.